I'm Jason, the creator of the Army Showcase, and this is my Tau Empire Codex for Warhammer 40,000, and you can see, well, it's seen its better days. Can I fix it? Find out today on the Recon Report. The Recon Report is a YouTube series presented by TabletopBattlefield.com, and in the next few minutes we're going to take a shot and see if I can repair my Tau Empire Codex for Warhammer 40,000. Here's my goal. A bunch of the pages of my Tau Empire Codex have fallen out, and I'm just basically going to try to glue them back in place in the right order so the book works, well, as it's supposed to, with all the pages intact. Here's what you're going to need to attempt this project. Obviously you're going to need a broken codex, but probably any thin paperback book like this would work. So some of the other rule books for other games are very similarly structured in terms of they're relatively thin, same type of backing material. The other important thing is the spine has to be intact. In the case of my codex, all that's really happened was the binding has failed and the pages have fallen out. But the spine of the book itself, which is obviously what runs along the length here in the back of the book, that's still intact because you're going to end up gluing this thing back to the back of the book. You're going to need a hot glue gun. This is what we're actually going to use to do the gluing. So you got a hot glue gun. And you're going to need 2 large paper clamps. This is going to be used during the gluing to make sure all the pages stay put. So the first step is to actually cause more damage to the book. We want to remove every single one of the pages with the exception of the front and back cover. For my codex here, I've probably got most of them just already fallen out from use and abuse over the past couple of years. The rest of them, though, just go ahead and very carefully rip each one out. Now, one trick you might try doing to removing these pages is to take a hobby knife like this and just kind of run along the binding as best you can to try to cut the pages there. So if you get to this point and find the spine is a little bit more damaged than you'd like, all you really got to do is go ahead and take a small amount of duct tape and run it along the spine. So now comes the not so exciting part. We got to go ahead and reassemble all these pages in the correct order. So I'll come back in a few minutes once that's all been taken care of. Here we go. I got all the pages reassembled. This edge over here will be the book edge, which is the side of the book you open up. This edge over here is the binding edge, which is where you're going to glue the pages to the spine of the book. And what we're going to do is just make sure everything's nice and neatly lined up. So obviously tap it a few times this direction. And that lines up the bottom and the top of the pages. Now to line up the binding, go ahead, turn the pages 90 degrees so the binding edge is pointed to the ground and tap that a few times. And what you're going to do is take these clips we have sitting over here and just clip the pages together, one near the top like that, and then one, sorry about that, and then one near the bottom down here. That'll help keep these pages in a giant block when you glue them to the spine of the book. If there's any extra paper per se, like for example this last page of the book here, a little bit of the back, inside the back cover got stuck to it, cut that away because that will get in the way. You want to make sure everything's really nice and neatly lined up, otherwise you're going to run into problems. Let's go pick the spine of the book up. And you should be able to see in the spine of the book where the pages were glued. It should be very rough, and there should already be, areas where you ripped it out, and that should be pretty visible. Should be pretty visible. So take your hot glue gun. Let me see here. If you're not sure, you can always fold the front and back cover of the book together to get an idea of where the spine actually is, because you want to go right down the middle where the pages are actually going to sit. So take your hot glue gun now, and let's run a bunch of hot glue, well, I don't know if a bunch, but depending on the thickness of the book, we want to run it right along the spine. And very carefully take the binding edge of the pages and put it down lined up in the hot glue. and literally just hold it there for a few minutes. This is not something you want to screw around with at all. Hold it there for a few minutes. Now comes the moment of truth. Did this work? Let's go ahead, close the book up. Noticing that the binding's a little bit thicker than what it should be, but it's not a perfect fix. You can see here if I hold it up like this, you can see it's definitely a little bit thicker than what it should be. But I'd rather not just force that too much. Let's remove our 2 clamps that are holding the pages together. Let's reopen this. Well, that's this project. It's not perfect. It's works all right. I mean, it's better than nothing. We'll see how long it holds up for. So with that, let's call this fun little experiment done. Once again, I'm Jason. For more information on World of Miniature Wargaming or to submit your own content, check out the Army Showcase and Tabletop Battlefield podcast over at www.tabletopbattlefield.com. Thanks for watching and have a good night.